hear that your soldiers went and ripped open the dead people. There was a belief, and that happened in many other places, that the Jews were, when they're running, anyone, they swallow their gold or their valuable, so they can, so every time they capture people, they just rip them open. Everyone, to make sure, again, the Roman soldiers did not fight for ideals. They fought for money, for looting, and for everything. That was their price.
And they were frustrated just
Talking
as
about
they said
army,
Masada did
someone
not.
says that's a hippodrome here. It's not a hippodrome, but in year 76, not 76 AD, but 1976, here, your servant was here. Very young, very short hair and black, but as handsome. No. I was serving in the military, and after 3 months we finished our classes and we are ready for the oath of allegiance to the state of Israel. And the whole regiment was brought to the bottom of the ramp the night before. We had we slept there. We had the tents built there and slept. And early in the morning, something like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, we had to dress the ceremonial one, not just the dungarees that we had, and our guns were taken away from us. Instead, we were given torches, but you know the one like in the movies that you put in the fire and it burns?
Yeah.
Each one of us. Imagine about 200 soldiers there. And then the order was given to climb from the ramp. I can see that very vividly, that line of fire. When you're at the bottom, you see all these soldiers. It's dark and you see only these going in. That's quite spectacular. When we arrived here, we saw there were here a lot of benches, bleachers, temporary ones that were prepared. So we all went to try to sleep on them, but no, it's not for you. As we were preparing, getting rid of the torch, we noticed that there was a table with all the rifles and a table with a lot of Bibles. That was part of the ceremony. I was a young soldier at the time. I mean, everybody was a young soldier, but I was only 2 years in Israel. I was not very well knowing what's going to happen. My Hebrew was not so good too, okay? But I knew it was part of the ceremony. And then as it started to become a little bit more light, the sun did not rise yet, but you could see it right behind the mountain. We heard noise, and it was our families that the army brought by the cable car to participate. I have no idea. At that time, you did not have cell phones to talk. I did not have any idea. So we were given some time to reunite with our families, and then we were called to the ranks. 3 rows here, 3 long rows, and then the commander, this is loudspeaker, everything. We start with the ceremony, with the oath of allegiance. At this moment, I started to really worry and sweat. I said, now I'm going to make myself ridiculous. My Hebrew is bad, and now my parents will hear that. That's worse. I understood that you have to say maybe I swear I'm going to serve my country, that I will give my life, like all the armies in the world, they do that. I'm going to serve, I will respect, I will love the flag of Israel, these kind of things. That's what I expected. And they say, I'm going to make a blunder somewhere. I really was frightened. And then the commander say, I will say the sentence and you all will shout after me. That's good. And he said sentence. I was not prepared for that. The others they knew because they've been growing up in Israel. And he shouted, Shuv Masada lo tipol. 4 words in Hebrew. Shuv Masada lo tipol, which means Masada shall not fall again. I said, what? I shouted like everybody. And what? And everybody was clapping hands, throwing hands. And of course we were given before that we were given a Bible and a gun, of course. I mean, we had the Bible in hand and the gun in hand when we say the oath. And I went to the sergeant and asked him, I understand, I know the story of Masada, but what does it mean? Masada will not fall again. It has fallen. And he said, no, surrounded by enemies, like they were surrounded by Romans. They have only one choice: they kill themselves. We are not going to do the same. You have the gun. You have the values we are fighting for. Bible. This time, Masada.
So when you say Bible,
That was an amazing moment. It happened 1976. That's a long time. I remember clearly everything. Shuv, Masada, go. Again, Masada. That's an
And that's
amazing
what you looked
moment.
like when you
I
were-
was fortunate.
there, that's you.
See, that's me,
Yeah.
not my son. So that's I was fortunate to be part of that because a few years later the army stopped doing that. The national park decided it was too much disturbance for the tourism and everything, and it started moving the O's to other places. And only few units are still doing it early in the morning before sunrise, like us, before sunrise, and disappear before the tourists start to arrive.
Tito, when you
Yes.
said Bible, did you mean like the
Tanakh, the Tanakh, the Tanakh.
Yeah, okay.